Welcome and thank you for joining this webinar today. If you want to study in the USA or Canada but don't know where to start, then this webinar is for you. My name is Jana and I'm going to be your third-party speaker for this webinar. And I'm speaking on behalf of my client, Canadian Professional Services. I'm not connected to the company directly, but regardless, I encourage you to give your 100% attention because by the end of this webinar, my goal is to provide you the actions that you have to take in order for you to study in the US or Canada. So, kung excited ka na, then let's get into the first slide. So, let me introduce you to the company that might potentially change your life, and it's called Canadian Professional Services. This company offers various services, including international student recruitment. International student, and I think it's your goal, it's your reason why you're here today in this webinar. And if you want, you can access their website at www.studyinusa-canada.com. When we say study abroad, of course, we think about how much. We think about what's the cost. We talk about the money involved. We ask ourselves, can I afford it? All right. And I have good news for you. If we go to slide 2, we can see an offer. Normally, there is an evaluation fee of $115. If you go to the company's website via the FAQ tab, you can see that the evaluation fee is $115. Since you're in this webinar, you have an opportunity to get that waived. You can save almost 5,750 yun yung katumbas sa Philippine money, provided that you can email all the documents within a week after this webinar. So get a pen and paper, write the email address down. It's info@canadianproservices.ca. So I'm going to repeat that, info@canadianproservices.ca. And to know the documents that you have to prepare, if you're wondering about those documents and you want to know, just keep watching this webinar and we will discuss that later. All right. The third slide is more about the company. It's always essential to know a company deeply, especially when making big decisions such as studying abroad or working there. And as your speaker, I'm going to help you know more about Canadian Professional Services Incorporated. Hihimay-himayin natin kung sino ba talaga ang company na ito. First, Canadian Professional Services Incorporated was incorporated on September 10, 2020. Yeah, it sounds like a young company, but wait, look at this. Its sister company started in October of 2012. It's called Immigration Gateway, founded by Nivens Caris. So you see, you've got all the information in front of you. You have the company name, the background, the name of the founder. And do you know what I really like about today's generation? It's the power of the internet. And with that, I mean, you can verify the information on the internet quickly. So it's my job as your host to provide you all the information that you need to know. And it's your job to verify or double check the information on the internet. So try to do your due diligence because after all, it's for you and it's for your future. Down to slide 4, we will learn more about the company. So they have another sister company called Canadian Professional Career Academy. And that is the Shang Academy. It provides training courses as well as continuing professional development courses. And hindi lang yun, noong September 2020, nag-expand pa sila lalo ng kanilang educational services. That's all for the company background. And as you can tell from the history of Canadian Professional Services and its two sister companies, they have one goal, and that is to help you and to help you grow your skills and to prepare you in your future life abroad in the US and Canada. So let's go to the next slide. Next slide. Who wants to study in University of Victoria, British Columbia? I'm sure you've heard of this university before. Now you have a chance to study here through the help of Canadian Professional Services. Now, what does it mean when we say you have the chance? Chance means possibility, the likelihood. It could also mean fortune or destiny. And now, if you have the chance, grab it. And that's what I want you to do. So I want you to stay with me for a little bit more. Every minute you spend watching this webinar is worth it. And I will talk about the required documents for enrollment in a bit. I know your pen is ready to write it down, but before we get into that, I have a tip for you. The first thing that you have to do is to check if the institution is approved by its territorial government. And I will teach you how to check that. We will use the University of Victoria as an example. All right, first you have to open a browser, and from your browser, you have to type Designated Learning Institution List Canada. So you have to click the first result, and you will see here this website. It's Government of Canada Designated Learning Institutions List. So let's go down and let's choose. All right, since we're talking about University of Victoria, so we know that it's in British Columbia. So we have to make our selection, British Columbia, and then down here, you can type University of Victoria and hit enter. And there you go. You can see the University of Victoria here. It's listed as a designated learning institution. And this is very important as well. It offers PG, WP programs. So these are the two things that you have to check. You have to check if it is listed as a designated learning institution, and you have to check if it offers PGWP eligible programs. PGWP means postgraduate work permit. So that means to say that they accept international students in their institution. Okay, so that's my tip for you. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what Canadian Professional Services can do for you. All right, so we're going to go from 1 to 6. So the first one is education consulting. So if there is a course that you really like, but you don't know which institution to choose, you have no idea about that. So you can consult Canadian Professional Services. They can help you with your questions. They can help you decide which institution is best for you based on your preferences. And number 2 is application enrollment and support. After you consult them and then you talk about the course that you want and the institution that you like, then you can proceed with application enrollment and they will support you with that. So this company has education consultants, and these people are experts. They are experts when it comes to application enrollment. For someone who is new and who has no idea what to do, but definitely you want to study in Canada or US or elsewhere, because they also offer support if you want to study in Australia and UK. But mostly in this webinar, we will talk about US and Canada. Okay, next one is travel arrangements, and number 4, homestay accommodation. These two are connected to each other. So they also provide support for that. They also arrange your travel. They also arrange your accommodation. So they're making it easy. They're making it easy for you. And lastly is travel medical insurance. It says we will also provide the travel and medical insurance to you, students. So that is super important. If you live far away from your family and then you get sick, it's a must have because you have to take care of your body, you have to take care of yourself. So you need to have an insurance policy, right? Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Okay, here we go. Ito na yung mahirap. Required document for enrollment. Okay. First one is passport copy, signed. And then, hold on, let me use a pen. There you go. So here's the first one, passport copy. And you have to sign that. Copies of any previous visas and or study permits obtained from any country. All diplomas received starting from high school to the most recent, and all transcript from all post-secondary institution as well as high school. So TOR, guys. This is TOR. Certificate of total average, if not mentioned on the transcripts. But usually, I don't know in your school. I think most TORs have the average, right? And then any English test. Okay, so if you're not familiar, we're talking about IELTS, TOEFL. So those are some of the English tests that we're talking about. Detailed and updated resume. Any professional licenses obtained. Take note, each educational institution has a different set of required documents, which we will inform the client during the application process. Okay, so there you go. Those are the documents, but don't worry, okay? So you probably have some questions about the requirements. Halimbawa, siguro may tanong ka tungkol dito, right? Probably you ask, paano kung wala pa akong visa before? Paano kung wala pa akong ganun? As I said, they have a team of education consultants. Kung marami ka pang tanong, don't worry because Canadian Professional Services will provide you more insights regarding the requirements and enrollment once you become their clients. This webinar will give you an overview, but the company's consultants will give you the details. Okay, so don't worry too much about the requirements right now. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, now here are the requirements for getting student visa for the USA. So first is a student and exchange visitor program, SEVP, approved school. And then you have to pay the SEVIS I-901 fee. The education consultant of the company will discuss, just in case this is the first time you heard about that. You have to apply for an F/M student visa at the U.S. Embassy of Consulate. And the non-refundable visa application fees paid before the interview. Okay, so take note of that. This one is very important. And passport validation to the United States travel. Application fee payment receipt. Certificate of eligibility for a non-immigrant, F1 visa or M1 visa. Okay, take a look at this here. F student visa for those who study English at an English language institute. And M student visa for a non-academic or vocational study or training. All right. If you have a pen and paper, write these down, okay? Because I think they are super important. You have to know your category. Okay, I know it sounds overwhelming, but just like I said in the previous slide, there is a team of education consultant from Canadian Professional Services that can give you the best advice on how to obtain these requirements. Mahirap kapag ikaw lang mag-isa yung nag-process ng mga papel mo. Mas maganda talaga kung may company na nagbibigay sa'yo ng support. Okay, let's move on to slide 9. Study in Canada institutions. Let's forget about the tedious stuff for a while. I know hindi masyadong maganda sa pakiramdam pag puro requirements sa pinag-uusapan. Sabi nga nila, masakit daw sa ulo ang requirements. With that said, let's talk about the institutions, the universities, the colleges, and let's go to the next slide. Let's start with Cape Breton University. First, let's check if it's on the list. So tinuruan ko kayo kanina how to check that. So we're gonna go to our browser right now. Let's go there. All right. So let's check Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. All right. And let's type Cape Breton University. All right. And let's click enter. And there you go. You see Cape Breton University. Um, and it is, of course, included on the list of designated learning institution. And it offers PGWP eligible programs. So, yun lang naman yung hinahanap natin. All right, so Cape Breton is included. Let's go back to the slide. First, let's take a look at the highlights. So we have highlights right there on the right. The first one is get a world-class education in Canada's most beautiful island. So if you're looking for a school with good environment in terms of scenery, then Cape Breton is for you. Next one is our student-faculty interaction ranks well above national average. Wow, above national average. This one is really appealing to me. I like to study in a place where I can build good relationships, not only with my co-students, but also with the faculty members. So do you feel the same? The last one is we're national leaders in service learning experiences. Wow, leader in service learning. I think Cape Breton is excellent in training their students and applying their knowledge in real world problems and situations. So if you'd like to gain competitive advantage in the labor market, then Cape Breton is for you. Let's go to the next slide. Next is Centennial College. Do you know that there are many Filipinos studying at Centennial College? And I also heard that the best month to start studying at Centennial College is in September. I guess it has something to do with having a summer break. Should you wish to know more details about that, I'd suggest you watch the video of Bea and Daniel on YouTube. Let's go to the next slide. Let's move on to the study permit requirements. The first one is family information form. Let me show you a sample. This is a sample of family information form. So you have to fill it up. Simple lang naman siya. Okay, let's go back to the slide. You need your original passports in carbon copy, letter of acceptance from the designated learning institution. Ganito yan. So, di ba at first, you have to choose a school. Tapos, pili ka na rin ng course na gusto mo. The next step is to contact the university, apply, and then wait until they send you a letter of acceptance. You also have to submit official fee schedule and tuition. And if you have further question, please ask Canadian Professional Services. You also need a personal study plan. Listen, a well-written and concise study plan can help the visa officer to see that studying abroad matches your future goals. Remember that the visa officer approves and disapproves applications, which is why you need to write an excellent personal study plan. And then you also have to submit proof of studies, police certificates, NBI certificate, or commonly known as NBI clearance. Itong tatlong to, madali lang naman siyang kuhanin. All right, let's go to the next slide. Let's talk about the Washington State University, Vancouver. There are 3 words to describe this university: equity, diversity, and inclusion. It's also highlighted here. There's a lot going on to bring people together. Let's go to the next one. New York Institute of Technology. Here's what I want to highlight: 94% employment. It's logical because most of the things that we do today are related to technology. One example is this webinar. In the past, it was a seminar. So if you're an IT person, this is a school for you. British Columbia Institute of Technology. This one is also a technology institute, but they focus more on practical and applied education. Farley Dickinson University ranked as one of the best colleges by Forbes magazine. The next school is Langara College, Vancouver. Let me read the highlight. Individual, personal, educational, and career counseling via video, phone or in person or virtual drop-in appointments, same day or next day appointments with a counselor. This is cool, and let me show you how it works. Let's go to their website. Okay, so this is the website of Langara College, and what we want to do is to go to student services, and we can see here counseling. I think this is really cool if a university has this service that is super accessible, because there is like a special tab on the website where you can see it. So I click that one, and there you can see here counseling, and then they have a virtual front desk, and they can actually book an appointment. So I think this is a cool service. Let's go back to the slide. Okay, the next one is Vancouver Film School. It's absolutely fascinating for the Gen Z generation and, of course, the millennials. Let me read it for you. Vancouver Film School is a post-secondary entertainment arts school training students in 13 immersive production-oriented programs that deal with all aspects of film, plus television, animation, games, and design. Graduate with a professional portfolio of work showcasing your abilities. And these are some of the courses that they offer. You know, if I'd study again, I would choose a film related course. Next slide, Vancouver Community College. How is it different from other colleges and universities? Let me read that part. Vancouver Community College offers academic, cultural, and social environments that inspire relevant, real world training. Our on-campus facilities, including gourmet restaurants, an auto shop, and salon and spa, allow students to hone their skills and training while providing high-quality, lower-cost services to the downtown and East Vancouver communities. It's an all-in-one experience. Let's go to the next slide. Next is University Canada West, or UCW. This is a school for people who want to take up commerce or business. And these are some of the highlights: 5-star QS rating, best online university, flexibility and convenience, downtown location, multicultural environment, proven employability. This is very impressive. Experienced faculty, small class sizes, career focus, and transfer credits. Next is Columbia College, and for this one, let's read some reviews on their website. Okay, so this is the website of Columbia College. Let's go down right here. Let's start with this one. I preferred taking my high school courses at Columbia College rather than back home because CC classes were more interesting and allowed me to improve my English. That's according to Fatty Sanogo from Rwanda. Rwanda is in Central Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check the next one. Oh, this one is from the Philippines. It's a Filipino. Columbia College is a great place to meet people from all over the world. If you want to have the complete experience, step out of your comfort zone, you'd be surprised at what you learn, according to Bral Navea. He's a Pinoy. Filipino siya, guys. I think ang ginawa niya is nag-UAE muna siya, tapos pumunta siya sa Canada para mag-aral. Or, it's either nag-Canada muna siya, tapos nag-UAE. Parang ganun. Let's check one more. Thanks to Columbia College, I have the tools, motivation, and inspiration to be successful as a student, professional, and member of the Canadian community. That's according to Nazar Tokonaliv, transferred to SFUBD School of Business, yada, yada, yada. He's from Kyrgyzstan. All right. So if you want to read more testimonials, you can just go to this website. Okay, let's go to our Next slide. Okay, the next one is Sterling College, and let's take a look at their website. This is the website of Sterling College. Let's hover our mouse over the international tab. We can see housing, pathways, and students. What I really like about Sterling College is that they partner with other colleges and universities. If we click business pathways, we can see University Canada West and Yorkville University. Okay, let's go to the next slide. The next one is Dillon School of Business. Let's watch a short video.
So when I first started at the university, I wanted to be a psychology major. I wanted to be a psychologist, own my own practice, get my PhD, and that decision changed when I was doing my first year university job. I actually was exposed to HR, and I got to speak to the HR manager, and I came back to university and I immediately enrolled in human resources and labor relations. I thought that psychology really was balancing for it, so I decided to add both degrees, and since then I've decided to pursue HR as a career. I grew up in a small town named Strathmore, about 45 minutes east of Calgary, and I really enjoy the small town feels. When I came to deciding what university I wanted to go to, I had options in Calgary and here in Lethbridge, and ultimately my decision came to Lethbridge because I'm still able to make connections within the community, but there's also amenities and recreational activities that are still here as well. I've had professors that have given me their home phone numbers to call them at any time to ask questions or if I'm stuck. Specifically though, Sonia Van Hiking has been truly inspirational to me. This is Sonia Van Hiking, and she is honestly one of the best professors here at the University of Lethbridge. I met Sonia in my introductory to accounting class, and it was because I was stuck on a problem and she was taking me step by step through this problem, no matter how long it took, and she said, anytime you need me, I'll be there for you. It's not all about your grades, and it's not all about sitting in the classroom and making sure you're studying and doing homework. It's about meeting people around you and making connections throughout the whole university.
Okay, that's the video. I like the part where she was stuck on a problem and the professor helped her. Let's go to the next slide. The next one is University of Lethbridge. Let me read one sentence here. We are a place where every person has the potential to shine. This one is really motivational, especially for people who lack self-confidence at times. The next school is Bal Valley College. Let's go to their website and read what the students have to say about the school. All right, so this is that part where we can read what they say. According to Christopher Kemp, it was really cool to see what it would be like to actually work for a client. It made it feel more real. So he took a digital design diploma. Another person said, I remember an instructor mentioning the insurance industry is recession proof. That got my attention, and it's proven to be true. It's a stable job, even in the pandemic, because we all need insurance. That's according to Maria Granja. She took a business administration diploma. Okay, let's go back to the slide. The next one is Mount Royal University. Let me go ahead and read the highlights. You'll have access to exceptional labs and simulation centers and have opportunities to participate in research, giving you a solid foundation for higher learning and preparing you for future graduate studies. That's awesome. Let's go to the next slide. Next is Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. Look at this part right here. 91% of graduates get hired and 97% recommend the education system of the school. Next, University of Manitoba. This is one of the country's top research institutions. Here is the website, and we're looking at the facilities. Let's check how many buildings they have. 100 plus buildings. 6.41 million square feet. Wow. And 676 acres of land. This is huge. And of course, they have architectural and engineering services, campus planning office, operations and maintenance, and office of sustainability. So if you want to study in the University of Manitoba, you can go ahead and apply, try your luck, and you can also get some assistance from the Canadian Professional Services. Okay, they will help you, they give you some ideas. All right, let's go back. For questions and inquiries, you can contact Canadian Professional Services. Kahit gusto kong sagutin yung mga tanong nyo kung meron man, kaso hindi nila ako empleyado. Next slide, Red River College, home to the majority of the college skilled trades, transportation, technology, health sciences, and engineering programs. So pag sinabing skilled trade, pumapasok sa isip ko agad, TESDA sa Philippines, di ba? Let's go to the next slide. University of Saskatchewan. First time to hear it? It's a province in Canada. Let's check the map. Okay, so here is Saskatchewan. It's in the middle of Alberta and Manitoba. So this is where it is. So let's go back to that slide. All right, so going back to University of Saskatchewan, here are the courses that they offer, and they also highlight their outstanding facilities. Let's go to the next one. The next one is University of Regina. Again, that's Regina. Say Regina, not Regina. So what are the courses that they offer? Whether your course is completely online or mainly in the classroom, UR Courses is a secure place where instructors and students are able to interact, share resources, and access course-related activities. UR Courses is based on Moodle, an open source application used to create and support course websites and online communities of learning. I like Moodle. Moodle is like LMS, Learning Management System. It's very similar to Google Classroom. Let's go to the next slide. All right, if you are still watching this webinar and still engaged, thank you very much. There are still many other universities that I want to show you, but I don't want to bore you with the details. Have you ever heard of the keyword method? It is a learning technique. The idea is to make learning simple through the use of keywords. We're going to do that right now. For every university that I will flash on our screen, I'm going to say a word or a phrase to describe a school. And let's start with Saskatchewan Polytechnic. For Saskatchewan Polytechnic, applied learning opportunities. That's our keyword. Let's go to the next slide. Next is Ryerson University, and I call it Mind and Action Champion. Let's go to the next one. Next is Seneca, Your Mark in the World. Next, Humber, Pure Tutoring. Next is George Brown College, and I call it Power 3 Toronto. Let me just explain a little bit why I call it Power 3 Toronto. That's because they have 3 main campuses in Toronto. IBT College, I call it Private Career College. Down to the next slide, it's ABC Access Business College, and I call it Career Field Builder. Next is Toronto Film School, and for this one, remember 3 words: learn by doing. Next one is Canadian Business College, and the phrase to remember is competitive business graduates. Next on the list is Toronto School of Management. And for this one, let's remember job market leaders. Next is Niagara College, Canada. Your keyword, experiential learning. Now we will move on to USA institutions. Remember that in this webinar, we focus on Canadian and USA institutions. Let's go to the first one. First on the list is University of South Florida. The keyword for this one is fastest rising. Next, Webster University Orlando. The keyword for this is academic adventure. And then we have Florida International University. The keyword for this one, first in Florida. And of course, in purple text, Valencia College, let's call it Community College winner. Next is University of Central Florida, get involved. Next is University of California, Irvine. Our keyword is prestigious. And of course, you heard of Santa Monica College. Our phrase to remember is impressive academic record. That's the last one on the list. Once again, let me tell you that Canadian Professional Services is going to give you a code for a 50% discount on the evaluation fee upon completion of the requirements within 1 week after this webinar. And just a disclaimer, if you happen to see me on social media, please do not contact me. You may contact Canadian Professional Services. They can definitely help you. I cannot because I'm not affiliated with the company. Anyhow, thank you for spending some time with me here on this webinar. Sana matupad mo yung pangarap mo na makapag-aral sa US or Canada. Thank you and goodbye. You may contact Canadian Professional Services using the number that you see on the screen. This phone number is also available on WhatsApp. You can use this number to ask questions anytime. Congratulations, you finished the entire webinar. If studying abroad appeals to you, but you feel a little scared, then you better hear it from the people who've done that. Here's a video of a woman from Germany who happily shared her study abroad journey.
My name is Laura. I'm from Germany and I'm a full-time student studying abroad in Scotland. I've also done a semester abroad in Canada just recently, so I have spent a lot of time abroad over the past 2.5 years of my life. The first change in my personality, which is probably the biggest one and also the most unexpected one in some way, is that I am now much more down to earth and a lot more appreciative of the things that I always took for granted. I always used to really dislike my hometown and the people here, and I come from a really small village. Now, after I have lived in big cities and always being surrounded with noise and all of that stuff, I now really appreciate what I have at home. Things like family, you appreciate your people so much more, and you also appreciate having support. Studying abroad, you're obviously on your own. You have to deal with all of the shitty things on your own. That's also a lot of mental pressure and all of that stuff. You become so much more grateful, and in that way also more down to earth, because you realize that you already have so much. That's such a beautiful change in my personality. The second personality change, which is kind of expected, I guess, is that I am now a lot more responsible for all of my own stuff, and I act a lot more independently. Like now I just do things, I decide, I act, from my own experience, from my own strengths, from my own confidence. The third way in which studying abroad changed my personality is that now I am a lot more curious about situations, and I don't judge as quickly, and I question more. Political or cultural. Like, I have seen a lot worse than the life in countries like Germany, for example, where people are a lot more privileged than in other countries. I now do not complain as much about things because I know that people have it worse. I have seen a lot more, I've experienced a lot more, I'm much more open-minded, so I'm not that quick to judge things, to complain about things. I always question. If you actually live in a culture for a few months, that's just a total different cultural exchange. I am more careful with what I say and what situations I judge. I hope that makes sense, but that's definitely a big personality change. The fourth personality change that studying abroad brought me is that I am much more brave, and I also take a lot more risks. If I did not study abroad, I would have never started my YouTube channel. I would have never started my business. I would have never started my podcast. I would have never met all of those incredible people. Studying abroad and doing all those things on my own gave me so much confidence that I know that even if things go wrong, and even if I make the wrong decision, or even if something doesn't turn out how I expected it to turn out, I know that I can overcome all the obstacles myself. I can deal with all of the things. I'm much more willing to take risks, and I'm much more willing to invest in myself because I now know how strong I actually am within my personality and within everything I do. So that just gave me a lot of confidence. I believe that stepping out of your comfort zone, it's never obviously going to be comfortable, but the more often you do it, the easier it gets. And then my fifth and final personality change that studying abroad caused for me is that now I am confident, and it's my truth that you are the creator of your reality. Because of course I had support from other people, which I'm so grateful for. The opportunity that I took with studying abroad was my choice. I put it into my head that I want to study abroad, even though no one in my family has ever studied abroad. Like, no one in my year went abroad to study abroad. Like, I was the only person kind of in my environment who had that thought in their head, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I now have the confidence that I did that once. I created this reality for myself once. I can do it for everything else. And that's why I'm saying, like, if I never studied abroad, I would have probably never started my business, and now I want to become an entrepreneur. And if I never studied abroad, I probably would have never realized that if I choose to do something, even if I can't do it immediately or right now, if I have it in my head and if I, work towards it, if I put my efforts, everything into it, I will eventually reach it. 2.5 years ago, I would have never ever even thought about all the opportunities and all the things that you are able to do in this life, just because you come from a small town and you don't have rich parents or whatever, that this is not available for you, because you really can achieve so much more than you think, because you are so capable. So those were the 5 things that changed in my personality through studying abroad in Scotland and in Canada.
Here's another video that will make you realize how so many people from different cultures come together in one place to learn.
Hi, Digest TV. I'm here with the first exchange student. What's your name?
My name's Klam.
Where are you from?
I'm from Thailand.
What is the best food you have eaten since you came here?
Since I came here, I've eaten a lot of food. My favorite one is, I think, it's hamburger. Yeah.
Nice. And what do you miss most at home?
What do I eat most at home?
No, what do you miss most at home?
Miss most at home. I miss my family. Yeah.
Thank you, Clam. Can you call? What's your name?
My name is Ludovico.
Where are you from?
I'm from Italy.
What food have you liked most since you come here?
Hamburger,
And what do you miss the most from Italy?
my family, and my dog.
Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Costanza, but here they call me Connie.
Where are you from?
Italy.
What's the best food you've eaten since you've come here?
Probably American cookies. They're the best.
What do you miss most at home?
I think food, of course, and my family.
Thank you, Costi. Thank you. What's your name?
Laura,
Where are you from?
Switzerland.
What's the best food you've eaten around here?
Burger.
And what do you miss most at home?
Pasta. I don't know. It depends.
Okay, thank you. Nina. What's your name?
Nina,
Where are you from?
Italy.
What's the best food you've eaten since you've come here?
I don't know, I like most everything, so it's good.
And what do you miss most at home?
Driving.
Thank you. Let's go. What's your name?
Okay. My name is Beatrice, and I'm from Italy.
Okay. What's the best food you've eaten around here?
Chicken teriyaki.
And what do you miss most at home?
Probably my friends. Yeah.
Thank you. What's your name?
Angie,
Where do you come from?
China.
What's the best food you've eaten since you've come here?
I think it's chicken salad,
And what do you miss most at home?
hot pot.
Thanks. What's your name?
Riccardo,
Where are you from?
I'm from Italy.
What's the best food you've eaten since you've come here?
Chicken strips.
And what do you miss most at home?
I miss my mountains.
Thanks. What's your name?
Jenny.
Where are you from?
I'm from China.
What's the best food you've eaten since you've come here?
The Indian food my host family bought me.
And what do you miss most at home?
Sorry.
What do you miss most from home?
I miss my parents and Chinese food.
Thanks. What's your name?
Stella,
Where are you from?
China.
What's the best food you've eaten since you've come here?
The last year I've been here, the best food is, for me, hot dog.
And what do you miss most from home?
My family.
Thanks. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Summer. I'm from Vietnam.
What's the best food you've eaten since you've come here?
Hamburger, I think.
And what do you miss most at home?
Food and family.
Thanks. Come, Benny. What's your name?
Benedetta,
Where are you from?
Italy.
What's the best thing you've eaten here?
French toast with maple syrup.
And what do you miss most at home?
I'm touching people when I meet them or when I say goodbye. We always touch people. So.
Thanks. Just press. What's your name?
My name is Ante Nikic.
Where are you from?
I'm from Germany.
What's the best food you've eaten since you've come here?
Burger and potatoes.
And what's the thing you miss most at home?
The thing I miss most at home is my family.
Thank you. Then you press it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. What's your name?
My name is Chloe.
Where are you from?
I'm from Spain.
What's the best food you've eaten since you've come here?
Hamburgers.
And what do you miss most at home?
My family and the food.
Thanks. What's your name?
My name is Carolina.
Where are you from?
From Germany.
What's the best food you've eaten since you've come here?
I think it was s'mores.
And what do you miss most at home?
My family.
Thanks. I'm Fernanda. I'm from Brazil. The best food I've eaten since I've come here are s'mores, and what I miss most from home is my family and my friends.
I have two favorite people from that interview. The first one is a boy who misses his dog, and the other one is the girl who missed driving the most. You should definitely see the next one.
25 reasons you should study abroad. A concerned citizen once asked the question, why do you promote studying abroad? Why can't we promote our own universities? Well, there are two ways to look at it. Yes, any country can decide to develop its education system to attract international students. It's the smart thing to do. But on the other hand, going to study in other countries is a practical way to expose people to new cultures, new experiences, and new ways of doing things. China, despite seriously developing its education system and making the effort to woo international students, has the highest number of its students studying abroad. India, South Korea, Germany, France, the US are some of the countries with the highest number of its students studying abroad. So, it's not really about encouraging our people to study at home. It makes sense that countries have a healthy number of its people travel to study abroad and import the new knowledge and experience. 1. Study and learn in a different way. Often, those studying abroad will experience a completely new way of teaching. This can be daunting, but it will also open your mind to new ways of learning. 2. Create unforgettable experiences. Study shows that people are happier and feel more fulfilled when they spend on experience than when they buy new things. When you think of the things that brings you the most joy, they are usually the memorable experiences. You get a lot of that from studying abroad. 3. It will look good on your CV. If pursuing a professional career is your goal, an international education and experience on the CV will help you stand out. It'll also represent you as someone who is up for challenge. 4. Increase your prospect for international jobs. While you can always go home at the end of your time as an international student, many choose to stay back and apply for a working visa. Even if you return home or decide to seek work elsewhere, the international experience you gain by studying abroad will be added advantage to your employability. 5. You can discover unique ideas and opportunities. Most of the successful businesses in Africa and Asia were set up by people who gained international exposure and education. Econet, Celtel, Iroko TV, Jumia, and more. By studying abroad, if you're curious, you may stumble on new ways to solve a problem back home. 6. Learn new language. Studying in a country that speaks a different official language as yours is amongst the best way to learn or brush up a new language. Imagine being able to communicate in German, French, or Mandarin. That could come in handy along your career path. 7. Studying in a foreign country is different from tourism. Travel for holiday is very different from settling in a foreign country for year-long study. You get to experience a place of study for a longer period and familiarize with local knowledge such as what tourist traps to avoid and how to get the most out of your new city. 8. You'll discover new delicacies. Yes, food. You just have no idea the variety of food that exists out there. You'll never know until you venture out. You may even discover your new favorite. 9. Gain independence. It's not easy being independent. You get to miss people back home, but the experience of being independent is a lot more valuable than living with your parents as a 20-something. It's a skill you'll cherish for the rest of your life. 10. International scholarships are becoming more common. Studying abroad doesn't have to leave you penniless, as more and more institutions and governmental organizations are offering dedicated scholarships for international students. To discover international scholarships from around the world, go to www.afterschoolafrica.com. 11. Take advantage of lower tuition fees. This of course depends on where you study abroad, but if you choose a location in many parts of continental Europe, Asia, and Latin America, you'll find it's possible to study at a highly reputed university without getting into debt. 12. Enjoy international student discounts. Many popular study abroad destinations offer student discounts for different activities from transportation, bookstore to movie tickets and museum. You just have to spend wisely. 13. You'll develop a global mindset. Whether it's in work, study, or play, you'll be able to use your new global mindset to back up arguments, inform your beliefs, and steer your future. 14. You'll learn to be self-reliant. Moving abroad is the ultimate test in self-reliance. When or if you move back, you'll likely rely on others less and you'll take more responsibility for yourself. 15. You'll meet a diverse range of people. Your exposure to many different types of people will not only help you to develop your people skills, but it will also give you a firmer knowledge of others. 16. You make lifelong friends. You will easily develop the attitude that we are in this together with other international students. This can result in lifelong friendships, even with the local students. You may not love every single person you meet, but chances are that you will meet at least one lifelong friend. 17. You will gain a greater knowledge of different cultures. As you observe and learn why people from different cultures do things the way they do, your emotional intelligence develops. You'll learn to be less judgmental. 18. See your own culture through a new lens. It's easy to accept your own culture as absolute, but living in another country can help inform your point of view on your home culture. This could help you to develop your own views rather than simply accepting those defined by where you come from. 19. Learn more about yourself. Throwing yourself into a completely new environment will help you figure out what you're good at, as well as what you're not good at. You can then build on those things during your study abroad experience. 20. You will grow up faster. Speed up the transition from your youngster to adult by leaping into the unknown. You'll have to fend for yourself, buy your own meals, and deal with your setbacks, but it'll all be worth it. 21. You'll gain life experience. One of the ultimate reasons to study abroad is to gain life experience. You'll learn how to organize your life and condense it into one suitcase, handle unforeseen situations, be independent and self-sufficient. 22. Be spontaneous and adventurous. Being in a foreign environment ignites your adventurous nature. You tend to want to explore your new environment, open your mind up to new experiences and sights, and learn a great deal while having fun. 23. You'll learn to appreciate the smaller things more. Studying abroad usually means you have even fewer possessions than the average student, and being that much further from home can really make you miss those familiar comforts you've taken for granted. Welcome to a newfound appreciation of everything from your parents' cooking to having more than 2 pairs of shoes to choose from. 24. You'll appreciate your home and family more. Any memories of parental argument or sibling rivalry will pale in comparison to your memories of how amazing they are. Likewise, they will have time to forget about all your less attractive attributes too. When you get back, these relationships will look so much stronger. 25. Use your spare time to explore. In between lectures and lab sessions, studying abroad should leave you with plenty of time to explore. Whether you're one for visiting iconic landmarks, trying new foods, or battering at local markets, there's bound to be a better way of spending your time than scrolling through Facebook. In summary, variety is the spice of life.
We're down to the last clip. It's your bonus. Please enjoy watching.
When I was young, I was dreaming I can study abroad.
And I've always wanted to come to America. You see the movies, you see the college lifestyle.
What better way to, see a country than to actually get to live here for 6 months?
The experiences have just been incredible, and it's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
I wanted to do study abroad for almost like a holiday, but you still get to do your subjects.
I want to go speak the language. I want to expand my language skills because there's nothing like being in the country and speaking it.
I'm hoping to be accepted into veterinary science. I think doing an exchange really gives me an edge on other people who are applying.
Employers love it. If you've studied internationally, it looks great.
Coming over to study is a little bit more nerve-wracking, but once you realise that everyone's in the same boat as you, it's really not as scary as you think, and it's definitely worth it in the end.
With most degrees at Adelaide, it's really quite easy if you had to do a study abroad semester because you don't have to seriously match up your courses or wait and go back and do an extra semester.
The process is easy and the guys at the exchange obviously look after you. In terms of saving money, the government's pretty good.
Jordan and I were able to get 2 OS help loans for 2 semesters, and then we were lucky enough to get scholarships from the Australian government.
It's so easy to jump on a bus and go to a different country. We've been to Wales.
Stopped off at Las Vegas for a night.
A big group of us went to a house in the mountains.
I've been to London a few times.
We went to Puerto Rico for fall break, which was amazing.
The independence you gain from doing an exchange, you can't really get it any other way.
I've become a lot more culturally aware of what's going on in the world. The people that I've met over here, I'll stay in contact with my entire life.
It made me realise that there's just so much more opportunity in the world.
If you are an undergraduate or if you're going into university right now, the #1 thing that you should think about is going on exchange.
abroad makes you a global citizen, and it's really a transformative experience for students.